Welcome to a special post-game edition of This Week in Auburn Sports. We just finished up here at Jordan-Hare, where the Auburn Tigers picked up their 300th victory in Jordan-Hare Stadium, 45-17 over Louisiana Tech. Wasn't always pretty. There's definitely some scuffling a little bit on the offensive side. The Tigers put it together, and Kyle, what'd you notice from Nick Marshall today?
I mean, as you said, it wasn't always pretty for the offense, especially him, but whenever he needs to make a play, he continues to make plays, and this was actually his 5th career game where he had at least 100 passing yards and 100 rushing yards, which shows his versatility as a quarterback. And the big plays that we were talking about before, he had 2 huge plays towards the end of the game in the 4th quarter, and Bonberry also played a big role in those big plays, starting with 37-yard touchdown where Nick Marshall basically put it on the dime.
Yeah, put it on the dime.
And then the other play where he escaped 2 defenders and was able to throw a jump ball, and Bonberry caught that as well.
Yeah, we saw a lot of that in this game actually from Nick Marshall, where he was scrambling around and stinging plays. We talked in the post game a little bit about Marshall and some of the scramble rules that they go over for plays when the coverage breaks down, just to extend and make some plays. Obviously, it wasn't just in the receiving game though for Bonberry either.
Bonberry, right after that big jump, the following drive when Louisiana Tech punted it, he had a 75-yard return. So he had a career game, and that was his longest punt return, most receiving yards, and 3 touchdowns, which was obviously the most for the senior as well.
Oh yeah, definitely a huge game from Bonberry. It's the 2nd punt return of the season. It definitely appears that Auburn's found a way to make their special teams pretty deadly moving forward. On the defensive end, Montravius Adams was probably the standout performer, wouldn't you say, CJ? He had a pretty big game, picking off a pass and almost scoring a big man touchdown, and then also bumbling and stumbling. He thought he was going to score there for a second. He's got some wheels. And then he also recovered a fumble. So it was another pretty solid performance from the Auburn defense, I would say.
Defensive line really starting to pick it up. That unit's starting to come together, and they're really starting to become one of the more formidable defensive line in the SEC.
Absolutely. And Louisiana Tech was no slouch. I mean, maybe not all the way around their roster, but their running back has definitely got a career history of putting up scores. I think he's up to 39 career touchdowns. So it was pretty impressive to see them hold such a talented running back in check. CJ, looking forward to LSU next week. It's a little bit stiffer of a competition. What do you think we're going to expect to see from the Bayou Bengals?
I think it's going to be a lot more different competition this time around. Last year LSU was Auburn going to defeat. They went to Death Valley and they really got beat on in every phase of the game. LSU was more physical. They had strong quarterback play in Zach Mettenberger. They had Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham on the outside. They have lost those players, and they were really key players to that offense last season. So this year, LSU will have a lot more. They're not very stable offensively, but they do have a stable, very strong runners. My favorite freshman this year, Leonard Fournette's coming into Jordan-Hare. So it's going to be very interesting to see how he performs, how Anthony Jennings is going to perform against these DBs who are starting to come into their own a little bit.
Absolutely.
And
because we were just watching Anthony Jennings struggle up in the press box, he was turning it over all over the place.
It's like I said, it's going to be a very different game this year, time around, and I'm very, very interested to see who's going to come out on top.
Absolutely. You never know what to expect from the Mad Hatter and Les Miles, so I'm sure he'll pull out some tricks.
It'll also be interesting to see how Auburn responds, because they're using this as a revenge game, as you said, from last year, so they're going to be more than excited. The students and all the fans are going to be excited, so it'll be interesting to see how they control that excitement.
And a big note, like I said, last year's game was in Death Valley. This year they're coming to Jordan-Hare, so we have the home field advantage, and that should be a very, very big key in this matchup.
Yeah, the atmosphere should be absolutely crazy. So that's all we got from Jordan-Hare tonight. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in the middle of the week.